Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Hobby News Daily. I'm still Danny Black, but today I am joined by my friend, the Doc, Dr. Collectible. Daryl, Doc, thank you for joining me. I am know your schedule, so thank you so much for finding time, and I appreciate it. Welcome aboard.
First off, thank you. Appreciate your time and your efforts, and for us to make this happen. I've been in tune with the platform for a while now. Um, you know, you, what y'all do, how y'all give off stories, and then even with me, my father, he also is on the website as well. So I even spoke on different articles that y'all have spoke on in a while put together. So even with me doing videos about, stuff that I read on that y'all exposed to the hobby, I think is just great.
Well, thank you, and I'll definitely send you a check later. I appreciate that. Um, I wanted to really give you props. I want to give you a shout out, whatever the term is these days. You are working with Tops MLB, the National, Fanatics Live. You got for those of you who end up listening on podcast, you're wearing about 17 other brands, um, and you're good looking. So you put the rest of us to shame. You're hardworking, you're good looking, and you're obviously doing something right. Tell me where I'm wrong. What's wrong with you?
um I try look, I try to find them things out. I usually find out from the people in the hobby that don't like how the way I move. For me, um I wanted to just be different in this hobby. That was my biggest thing. Yes, it was on my list of things that I wanted to do, to be on the tops card or to work with, companies like Fanatics maybe within the future, or, working with the National, becoming one of the first, the first African American media ambassador for the National. So I look at that and I look at things of that nature where I wanted to focus on the 5% that makes me special in a hobby compared to talking about the biggest hits. I'm not buying the $100,000 cards. I'm not doing that. I'm exposing that mom and pop shop that's in Illinois that only a few hundred people may know about.
Yes.
Baseball
Yeah.
Card Connection. One of them, I celebrated Topps Hobby Rip Night with them for my first time. And I must say, learning about their story from y'all, not only from y'all platform, but going to actually visit them with my mother and having a great time. And it's things like that. That's what I'm about in this hobby. And for that, y'all shared a message that I was able to share with the world, where I was able to share a moment with them. So that's my biggest thing when it comes to the hobby, is just exposing. And for that, been blessed with just many opportunities to come in the way.
So there's so many fascinating things that you just mentioned that I want to hit you up with.
Yes, sir.
First of all, you mentioned first African American ambassador for the National. Tell me how you. I mean, forget African American.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many people want that job?
Um,
I mean, what was how did you? I mean, just hustle, persistence, or is it the good looks again?
it's I tell a lot of people don't know. I'm gonna put this out there first. A lot of people be like, "Yo, you look young." I am 34. I'm gonna be honest. I am
You
34.
are young.
I am up in age a little bit, but I just try to take care of myself. But yes, it goes to the grind,
Yeah.
the work ethic. Once again, I think the way that I came in, my biggest thing for me and how I kind of work with the national was big shout out to Ray Schulte and what he does for the national. He gave me an opportunity to come in and do something special. He liked the content that I was putting out, the way I exposed the hobby in a good sense. So he was like, yo, he gave me a chance. We talked at the Men Collective and was like, hey, I've been watching you for a while. I told him personally I wanted to meet up with him in Arizona at another car show, which didn't happen. So this was kind of in the works. And from there, he gave me an opportunity. And from that, I did not let that committee down. It was a chance to also show off what I can do to the new committee that was coming in, that was going to take over the national. So from there, you trust a lot of my judgment on content creating, and from there, man, we just skyrocket.
I mean, I saw you, and I don't know if you keep a watch that counts steps or something, but
Mhm.
you had to put on what 20 miles a day. I mean,
Um,
you can't. I mean, you were legit. Like I want to give you respect. Like legit working your ass off. Just straight out. If you're listening on the podcast, by the way, I'm totally kidding. I'm way better looking, so
oh,
it must be your brains.
definitely, sir, definitely. When you speak on that, I noticed in a day I could walk about close to maybe like 9 to 10 miles within a day. I worked hand in hand with Ray's son as well, which he had like 7 to 8 miles on his legs. A few of my friends that was with me
He'll
watching
make
me.
Ray's son will make you feel old because yeah. Let me tell you something. He's running that place and he's doing it at his age, and he's still got youthful legs.
I said the same thing. I'm like, he's young, then the fact that he's moving the way he's moving through there, like every day. I'm gonna tell you right now, by the end of the national, I lost my voice, and I want to say, yo, my knees was just like out of it, and I can tell, like, yo, Ray, what he's doing for his son and showing him the ropes. It's amazing to see what that young kid is doing, y'all. So I think that's pretty dope. And working hand in hand with him, he's just like his father.
Did you learn to pack a couple more pairs of shoes for the next national?
Yes, I learned a lot of few things when it came to traveling, saving a lot. I don't even okay, well, even when it comes to clothes,
Yeah,
as you
let's
can
talk. Let's
see,
talk for real.
yeah, my boy Nature, out West Coast, he's a break, also content creator. Bleeker, I like to wear a lot of hobby clothing. So what I've learned is that at these events that I go to,
Yep,
I leave with more than what I came with. I had to learn
that's a
that
professional
real
move.
quick. Yeah, I
Yep.
learned that real quick. So now a lot of my clothing is, if it's not my clothing that I'm wearing, which I wear my clothing as a uniform, um, I'm wearing everyone's clothing in the hobby. That's the one thing about me. I don't think I've bought a lot of clothes in a while because I have so much hobby apparel.
Well, we're having Hobby News Daily shirts made, and you better believe you're getting one.
Hey,
So,
hey, I might just do a photo shoot in it. You never know, man. With
just
a
saying.
couple cards in hand. I listen. I
I'm
love
not
the
going to
hobby,
argue.
man.
I'm just saying. I'm not going to argue.
He said I'm not gonna. You might see me pull up. You might see me pull up with that.
All right. So let's take a step back.
Yes.
What even made you get into the hobby? Let's hear your hobby story. You know, who are your teams? Who are your guys growing up? Where'd you grow up? The whole story.
All right. Grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois, which is right next door to St. Louis. So I grew up on the Cardinals. I grew up on the Rams, even though they're in LA. The
All
greatest
right.
show on turf was in St. Louis, Marshall Faulk, and I can keep going down the list of
Yep.
names. Also, I went to my first Blues game last year, which is
Hockey's
crazy.
crazy in person,
I
isn't it?
know. I know. I
Like I had a
as
whole
long
new
as I've been
respect. The
living in
first time
St.
I
Louis.
went, I had a whole new respect. I'm like, I don't know what's going on totally. And please don't get in the chat room, guys. I love hockey. It's great. But in person, it's unbelievable.
It's I had to say the same thing. Now, don't get me
Oh,
wrong. I don't drink. I don't drink like
yep.
that. But I had to have me a beer, cause man, it was a little. You might have to take you a little shot. Come with a hoodie and a
Bring
jacket.
the
But
winter coat.
overall, dope
Yep.
experience. Um, but
So
yeah,
I'm
being from
sorry,
St.
I cut you
Louis.
off. So you're a St. Louis
Yeah.
you're a St. Louis fan.
Yes.
And
Yes.
who are your guys growing up?
So growing up, I liked Ozzie Smith. I also Mark McGuire. I don't care about the drugs. He gave me my best, maybe the some of the best moments of my life growing up watching baseball was him and Sammy Sosa. Regardless of the shenanigans that go on with his name, I respect him for what he did for St. Louis. Um,
For the
Also, other
record,
guys, once again,
there's the 85 Tops McGuire right there.
my dad, I that's the first graded card that I bought for my father. Is that the hold on? Is that the USA or is that the A's?
That's the USA.
You that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking. That's I have that card graded in a 7.5 in PSA for my father. That's the first graded
I
card that
love
I
it.
bought, and I gave it straight to my father. So
That's
when
all.
you talk that, yeah, so I
Yep.
respect you, man. I knew we had something going on in common, y'all. But yeah, St. Louis, that's what it is for me growing up. Um, Big fan of also Kurt Warner. So with that whole theme of just St. Louis, watching, the Cardinals and things of that nature, that's was really my teams growing up. I'm also a Lakers guy, um, big Lakers guy, and football wise, now that the St. Louis Rams ain't there anymore, I've been an Eagles fan since like Donovan McNabb. So
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of like my whole thing with sports, and like you say, growing up in St. Louis and coming from across that river, um, it's just a different breed, man, for sports. I feel like we one of the best cities
Well, I was about to
when it
say the
comes to
fact that
sports.
you mentioned the Cardinals first is
Mm-hmm.
it's really like that much of a Cardinal city. I mean, is it true that you just if you're from there, you're a Cardinals born and bred forever?
Yep. It's true when they talk about the Red Sea. The Red Sea is
Yep.
real. When you go out there and you see everyone in that
The
red and white.
greatest fan base in the country, all that garbage. Yeah.
Yep. And I
Yep.
might say, next to the Yankees, the most winning, the most yes.
Wow. Okay.
We are
Okay.
next to the Yankees when it comes to championships. So
That is a fact I can't argue with. That is a fact.
yes.
Um, yeah, no, listen, if you want to go, old school,
Yeah.
Stan Musial, Bob Gibson, these are the guys I grew
Gibson.
up, these are the guys I grew up learning about, and my dad was a baseball historian and just taught me, such respect for the Cardinals franchise. Because similar to the Orioles, they were just known for having a first class franchise, a great minor league system, develop their guys in the Cardinal way, the Oriole way. It was a lot of similarities for a lot of years. So, I like the Cardinals more than I like the Rams, but now the Rams are the NFC and the Ravens are the AFC, so it's good.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's real shaky right now with the NFL where that's going. Ooh,
Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
yes, sir.
All right. So, what are you looking forward to coming up? Like, what's up? Like, what does your schedule look like when you look to spring and summer? Like, do you have any idea like where you're going to be and what's going on?
Yeah, so my biggest thing right now, be announcing soon. Last year I worked with the National. This year I will be working with them as well. So I'm doing something where it's called the Road to the National.
Sure.
And yeah, man, I'm partnering with people like Slab Max, the Celebrity Mint, and other names like Fan Arch, where stand up displays. Like I'm doing
Sure.
giveaways to the kids. I want to be able to give away. I've been working with the National on a merch as well, so we're coming up with a whole merch line. There's some definitely just great announcements that we have leading up to the National, but also looking to be able to work with tops as well more in the future. Now that I have the car coming out this month. Fanatics Live, working with them. I want to be able to work with Fanatics Live events as well with their shows. That's my biggest thing is I'm always working with the car shows and partnering with them, whether if it's the national or the flip trade show in Alabama. I don't, like that's my
Sure.
biggest thing. That's where my bread and butter was at. So I want to be able to visit more shows, and a lot of shows that I have coming up for this road to the national is shows that I haven't got a chance to visit yet. So it's definitely a blessing.
That was going to be literally my next question is how often do you get on the road and is it more or less than you want to be? It's
So
a double-edged sword.
last year I traveled as much as I did ever in my lifetime. Um, Last year I did so much. Even this year, I want to say now I still haven't got used to travel because I'm not used to flying. I don't sleep on flights, so when I do leave these flights and go straight to these events, I don't even get a lot of rest. Um, so it's been dragging. Right now, I just came from California about 2 weeks ago. I was gonna go to the Palms Beach show, which was last weekend, but I had to say, let me give myself 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to chill before I sit here and get back on the road. I want to be honest with you. I was on the road since last year national until now.
That's unbelievable. Seriously, dude. I mean, that friend to friend,
Yes, sir.
whatever. Take care of yourself. That is a hustle.
Yeah, you right about that when you say take care of yourself. I felt bad my first time going from Cali back to Atlanta. The
Oh
first
yeah.
time I went to Burbank, it was bad. I found myself I fell asleep at the trade night. It was about 11 o'clock.
I don't
No,
mean to
ten
laugh.
o'clock. 10 o'clock at night, and it felt like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's when
Yeah.
I said, okay, now I got to really worry about my health. I'm not just traveling East Coast, but now I'm going across the country. So you're right. I had to look at my health and look at myself a little bit more better in the mirror as well to realize, sometimes you got to say no.
So now you're taking a little break and gearing up for the road to the national.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what it is.
All
Give
right.
myself at least 2 to 3 weeks.
So if people want to see you, meet you, do you know where they're going to post the schedule or how
Yeah.
people can find that out?
Yeah, so I will be making that announcement. Actually, personally, I will be making that announcement. Spoke with Ray about that. We looking to collab because we might make some more different announcements, including with the shows. But I can tell you this show,
Hypothetically.
yeah, hypothetically. But the
Right.
shows that I'm going to
Yeah.
would be, this ain't in order, but I just know the
You,
list. Hobby Slam, Flip It Trade Show, Monster, the Midway Monster in Indiana. You also have the Front Row, which is in Vegas. I would be going to that, and
jealous
I
on that one.
believe I'm missing like two other shows that are on this list. Oh, Bay Area Car Show, and as well the Crown Jewel Car Show, which is in Rhode Island. So I will be going across the country and visiting car shops as well.
Well, I hope you know if you come through the Mid Atlantic and you get near Baltimore, you got a warm bed and a dinner on me.
Thank you, brother.
So yes, you deserve not to be in a hotel one night. Um,
Appreciate it.
what are your goals for this year? Like what would a successful year be if we hit New Year's, at the end of the year, and you're looking back? What's a successful year look like?
Successful year will be to put myself in a way better position than I was last year. Last year, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the hobby. I learned a lot more about people. People in the hobby, really going face to face, talking to the car shows and the car shops. This year was building upon that is to do more of the business end for me. Because like I said, I'm a big business individual. This hobby changed my life at a dark time that I was in, where I was living in my car for 2 weeks, sold my Kobe Bryant cards, and got myself back into another apartment. That's how deep it was for me because I lost everything at that time. So what
Good
I'm
on
doing
you.
now, that energy and all that I've been giving back last year and the years before that, and collecting, now this has been setting me up to become a more of a business individual. I want to be able to partner with more shows. I want to be able to work with more companies now. When you're talking about Fanatics and Tops, that was never on my list. That I thought I was going to be working with these individuals. I wanted to, but I didn't think it could be possibly possible. And
How about a
doing
card?
things the way I'm doing it, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
How
that.
about getting a card?
It's a blessing.
I mean,
Um,
how did you find out? And like, how crazy is that?
so first off, I knew that if I could be different from what everybody else doing, not talking about the biggest sales of sports cards, Um, like giving grace to the mom and pops stores and all that. I felt like the blessings that I was giving back, it was eventually going to come back to me, especially if I tried to do it differently. And I think from there, working with kids, um, really a lot of my content is kind of PG as well. Even if it is cursing in my songs, usually the edit version. So I do take a lot of pictures with kids, meet a lot of parents as well. So for me with Tops, put the name out there. Shout out to Aaron Abrams from Tops, director of entertainment, pop culture at Tops. He gave me an opportunity, reached out to me, and was like, "Hey, I love what you do for the kids." He seen me talking about Slab Strong, me working with him as well with kids, and Slab Strong got his own card, Tim. So he seen me talking about him, and he was like, "Yo, I've been watching content for a while." He actually reached out to me, and I ain't reached back out to maybe like a week and a half later because his messages were in my request messages, so I wasn't following him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, learn a lot about that with the request message. So that's how that kind of came about. He seen what I was doing with the kids, how I was giving my heart and soul back to this hobby with just content creating, like great content creating, and making sure that the story was about the people, not always about me, but about the people. So he took that and was like, "Hey man, I think you deserve to be on the card, man. I think for the hard work that you put in this hobby, what you do for the kids, you deserve it." And that's how that came about, man.
How cool.
Thanks,
I
man.
mean, come on. Come on. How cool. Like I want a card of myself. I want to be honest. If anybody's listening, who's the person? Who's the person at Tops that hooked you up?
Oh, so Aaron Abrams, man. Aaron
Aaron
Abrams.
Abrams.
Yes.
Card 2027, 2028.
I
We're gonna
like
plan.
you cooking with grease now, baby. We cooking with
See,
grease. I
I'm
like that.
just saying. All right.
Yeah,
Before we wrap
the
up,
team over there dope, man. I like Aaron Abrams.
before we wrap up, I want to ask you some questions as somebody who goes to shows.
Okay.
Okay. Funniest thing about a card show that maybe hobbyists don't always appreciate. To me, the room always smells. I'm sorry, nobody talks about it, and it does. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's just be
Oh my
honest.
God. You're
Okay.
not the only one that talks about this. I don't know if it's Pokemon. I don't know if it's anime. I don't know what it is about our
I blame
little
Charizard.
hobbies.
Charizard's anti-deodorant.
Oh man, it's big heat. Big heat, man. I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest. I'm one of them guys that might take like like I might leave the show because the hotel is right there next to the convention or whatnot. I might just like take a shower and like change clothes because it might be too hot at the convention.
oh
Might be
yeah.
sweating. It's a lot. So yes, what you just said, I have
Yeah.
to agree. I would say to add on to that, it may not be fun, but the food.
Oh,
I find some crazy things we eat at these shows, yo.
like animals at a trough, whatever they put in front of us, we just will belly up and pay $25 for.
Oh, t- tw- I'm gonna be honest. The prices I may have paid. I think this is the highest price I may have paid. This might have been Miami. I think I paid $25 for a hot dog and chips, and didn't
Oh,
even have a drink yet. Now, don't
oh.
get me wrong. It was one of them little mega hot dogs. It was the long joint,
If
but
it's
it
not a
wasn't
foot
even
long from
enough.
yeah, that's crazy. So okay, so the food sucks and everybody smells. So we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about a show that people don't talk about? How much people will be happy to answer a question.
Wow. I ain't even think about that.
You ask a question to a dealer, for better or for worse, you're getting an answer. They're not going to avoid it. You are going to get information.
You I've learned so much more face to face than on the internet about the hobby. I can tell you that right there.
Yes.
The questionnaires, the information that you get, the dialogue, even the facial expressions. You know when
Yes.
someone being serious. You know when like I've seen like just things happen at car shows that you would not get on the internet, or the answers to questions that you may not see or hear that you will get at a car show. For that, I might have to roll with you on that one. That right there, car shows is so informational. It's like a infomercial.
I mean, it's
Seriously.
literally a group of people who travel around or spend their life around the carts. I mean, there's not a better resource. So,
Yes. And I want to say too, a lot of these individuals that I met, especially the up in age, I'm talking about our 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, even veterans.
yep.
They don't have social media, so I have gotten some of the best
Hmm.
information behind closed doors.
Oh yeah, because they know where all the bodies are buried.
Bingo.
No, I mean they'll give you truth about people. Uh, you know, they're just waiting. All you got to do is ask a little bit. They'll tell you everything. Yeah,
One little small piece of something, hey, you might as well say if you want a crumb, you about to get the whole cookie.
yeah. I'm stealing that. I'm not giving credit.
Gotcha. I'm
Okay.
riding with it.
All right. We went well over the time, and I try to land my planes on time and try to get the flights in. So I want to thank you so much for today and for coming on and for everything that you do for the hobby. I mean, from Hobby News Daily's perspective, you're just like a parallel to us, just a positive vibe for the hobby, just trying to share the gospel of the cardboard.
Hey, thank you for the time. Me, and not only that, but my father also enjoyed the platform. Um, I can't say much more than, like I say, y'all was really maybe one of the first outlets that I came across when it came to like just hobby content and media and things of that nature. That's what also made me kind of steer my direction of try to go like the media ambassador role. So for y'all, I want to give y'all kudos to what y'all do, and appreciate having my first time being on this platform. Thank you for your time and what y'all do for the community of the hobby.
Doc, you're first, but not your last. Thank you very much.
Thank
To
you.
everybody else out there, you can catch this guy if you were listening earlier all over the place. But on social media, you are at Dr. Collectible, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that the best place to follow you?
Yep.
Okay.
You do have Instagram, but you can find me everywhere else on
I'm sure
TikTok,
you're everywhere.
YouTube. Yep.
Yeah, you're like a
Facebook.
professional. You're like a professional at this. I don't even know why I'm asking.
I'm trying. I'm trying, man.
You're
I'm really
doing it.
trying.
All right. Well, you'll find him if you look up Dr. Collectible on any social media. You're gonna get Daryl. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Uh, to everybody else, appreciate you joining us for another episode of Hobby News Daily, and we will see you next time. Take care.